Hello, everybody. This is Lucas Coldaway, and this is Prolifically Born again. And so I went to church, and I know I sound a little, but everything's all good. You know what I'm saying? Just, the devil really likes to, he's really trying to push back on my emotional state at all times because he knows that I'm getting further and further away from him, right? And coming from the life I was living, you can imagine, like, this guy, frick, man, he's like doing push-ups, but like the thing is like God has brought me to the point where, and most of the ones that know me, you're gonna understand this. The funny thing is that here I am trying to create something, however, or what, like, however that comes to, like, help the fellow man, like the guy that's been there, where I've been, and, like, and help just those people in general. Here I am trying to, like, put together, like, whatever. Like, it could be a meeting, it could be me doing, I don't even know, right? And I'm just saying this because, and I thought about this, and this is what the devil put in my head, yo. This is what he told me. He said, why are you trying to do all these things for the people that shot you and stabbed you and left you to die multiple times? Like, and I actually was taken back by this thought in my head where I was like, like, wow, like, I thought about it for a second and I was like, and he tried to trick me up, so it put me in some type of mood, even though I just came from church and, like, I had a great conversation with a great guy, and like, I talked to the detective that's a Christian, Dennis, and all the feedback is good. Let's just say that all the feedback is good. I don't want to elaborate on conversations online, not yet anyway, but it's not like I don't see the growth within myself, right? But the devil is, man, he's greasy, man. Like, so the way he tries to trick you is so greasy, and you can imagine how easy it is for, like, maybe somebody that isn't able to, like, comprehend, like, a whole lot. It'd be so easy for him to trip you up, like, to make you justify one thing or the next. But for me, from the life I used to live, that's what I'm saying. Like, God has brought me so far that, I thought about what he put in my head, and then I obviously just dismissed it like it was nothing, because like, the devil ain't, this guy is a clown. You know what I'm saying? He's a clown. And when you got Jesus in your life, like, that's the boss, right? So it's like this guy ain't got nothing, right? Like, he's on the street level. God is on the spiritual level. Like, beat it, buddy. Like, all I gotta do is deal with the worldly bull crap that is around me that's trying to, like, draw me in. And you know what? When you got Jesus on your side, it's never gonna be easy, but it's gonna be doable. But that's where the willpower of God comes in. Because if you can't have, and that's why I try to express to a lot of guys that, like, think that they can just, like, cold turkey the addiction, or cold turkey the women, or cold turkey this. Well, let me tell you something, homeboy. You can't cold turkey shit. Absolute nothing. If you can't be able to have your conscience, which is God, inside you telling you what's right and what's wrong, then you will be applied to the worldly standard, which, if you didn't know, it's ran by Satan. He's the one that wrote the script. He's the one that runs the show. And like, so if you don't believe in God, just listen to my testimony and just really think. And here's the thing though. you're gonna get that willpower from God, but you gotta have faith for that to happen. But it's an endurance battle. You have to be able to, and it's a sacrifice. And so this is what I want to tell people that think that, because I was in the headspace in the past where I believed in God. God came into my life. He changed my heart. I had a spiritual awakening, but then he puts you into an endurance contest. Not a contest, but he puts you into an endurance program where he's going to test your will. He's going to test your faith. He's going to test all these things. All the while, the devil, you see, but that's why you have to be able to decide between the two as you go on in life. You have to choose one or the other. And the true way of Christianity is you have to sacrifice your flesh. You have to sacrifice a lot of things that maybe a lot of people around you take for granted, okay? And you see, for the person that actually believes in God but doesn't, because I believed in God before, but I thought, I can keep doing this. I can keep doing this sin because God's a forgiving God. He's going to forgive me for this. Like, I went for years doing that. Years, right? But what happened? What happened? Almost got killed. Now, this is my story. This might not apply to you. Probably doesn't. My story was a lot different than, a normal person's story. So, but, the rules still apply in the same way, right? Like, everybody has trials and tribulations in life. So just because, I had like a crazy in prison street life does not mean that it doesn't apply in the exact same way. It's just different, But the end result is all the same. And it's either going to be that you become true Christian with your eyes open, understanding that it is a sacrifice. It is having endurance to all the pleasures and all the forces of the devil that are always around you, that have corrupted every asset, every aspect in life has been basically corrupted by the devil. You can't look somewhere without sin looking right back at you in the face. So that's why, yes, the devil is able to affect my moods at times, right? But when that happens, I just pray. So all you gangsters out there, put your pride aside. There's even times when I feel out of place. The devil tries to put things in my mind to make me feel like, oh, this isn't right, blah, blah, what may have you, etc., etc. The list doesn't end when it comes to the trickery of Satan. The list doesn't end. But if you're out there and, first you gotta let go of your own ego. You have to let go of your own ego, right? If you think that you got it all figured out, and if you think you're just gonna, and even for the average guy that's got his life together, he's got kids and a family, he's got a job, this and that, there's something missing inside you, and because you haven't found it, it's most likely, looking at statistics, you're going to either end up getting divorced, you're going to either having serious issues within your lifestyle. I mean, the divorce rate, we already know how high it is. So these are just examples. In this day and age, the devil is absolutely on the center stage, and he's messing with everybody, but he does it in the most trickery, subtle way. And it's just for you, though. It's personally just for you. So, here's the thing. You're going to allow a force that you can't see control your life and essentially end up in a place that you never signed up for. Now, maybe you don't believe that, right? If you don't believe that and you're a happy person and, all the power to you. I mean, I'm sure there's many great people out there that got good hearts that have lived their life in a wholesome, responsible way. And in my opinion, in some way, I feel like if they really weren't subjected to God or the Bible, when you die, you might have the option of deciding from one or the other, maybe through some sort of test, maybe through something. But inside of us, the Holy Spirit is there already, right? And that's where love comes from. So God is just waiting for you to recognize that and put two and two together. You know what I'm saying? And it is real. 100% real. God came into my heart when I was in prison, and it's about 8 or 9 years later, and I'm a completely different person with an absolutely completely different understanding about how to live in life and the consequences of not living in that way at the end. Now, of course, nobody wants to scare anybody, right? Nobody wants to like think, oh, when they die, they're going to hell, right? But here's the funny thing. All the Bible and all God's trying to do is to get you to live in a way that is actually an upstanding, like, person with good morals would live. Like, if you're a good person, you got a good heart, you're going to be able to live this way. So if you don't believe in God and you're a good person and you have the, maybe you should think about looking into it, because what are you going to lose from it? Take it from me. I mean, I count my lucky stars every second of my life right now that God came into my life, period. And the struggle that I go through on a daily, minute by minute basis is, there's times when I want to pull my hair out. But you see, I'm still on the road. And but the hope that I feel, and you see, everybody's different. So don't take this testimony as, you have to be able to separate. God knows who you are. The devil knows who you are, right? These forces of nature are way more advanced than we could ever imagine, right? And so you got to assume that they know how to maneuver within your mindset of how you think. I know this 100% because I deal with the devil on a daily basis within my head, especially me, man. It's not easy. So for all you guys that think you're just going to be able to cold turkey all this stuff, put your ego aside and start. And you know what? You don't have to believe in Jesus Christ in a way of like, oh, you're a Bible thumping Christian. It's a lot more than that. And if you put your pride aside and just, you could basically do anything. But like I said, it's a sacrifice. It's an endurance, and none of these things are going to come from your own willpower, though. So without the Holy Spirit to guide you, you're not going to be able to overcome Satan's temptations. It's absolutely impossible, okay? And it's so impossible that it's to the point where it's like way over 50% of people think that, oh, because they're good people and they believe in God and they live responsibly, but they're into many different types of sin in a repetitive manner and always asking God. See, I was in the place in my life where I would do something and I would pray and ask for forgiveness and I would feel better about it, but I would do it over and over again. Now, I used to explain this in a certain way, but I think I've come around to change my tune on it, because what I used to say when I was justifying these actions was, oh, but that doesn't even matter, because deep down in my heart, I knew that this is all crap. Like, when the Holy Spirit really comes in your heart, deep down when you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing. And this is what Jesus is waiting for you to do. He's waiting for you to make a sacrifice, because that's what Jesus did, man. like all you gangsters and stuff, and you're all like, Jesus put his life down for us, man. You know what I'm saying? And like, I don't know that many guys that solid. You know what I'm saying? Well, I might just be one of them, all right? And maybe that's the reason why I'm here right now, because I put my life on the line for somebody in the past. I can't talk about it online, but and I did it for someone that I shouldn't have done it for, and in the end, it reshaped his life. And it didn't reshape my life. It was just an experience of, basically, I tried to take the rap for somebody on some serious charges, and but that was a long time ago, and and it's just, that's whatever. The point is that you're not going to find many guys that would be willing to put their lives down for somebody, and that's not what I was talking about. I didn't try to put my life up for somebody, but I mean, I am that kind of guy. I have that kind of heart. I would put my life on the line to save my family, or my loved ones. Absolutely, 100% I would. But it's just, and we all would, right? We all would. If you got a real heart in you, you would step up for your family or your kids. I mean, who wouldn't step up for their family or their kids, right? Unless you're an absolute, I don't even know, like maybe some type of coward, right? But I don't think that anybody watching this video is a coward. I really absolutely don't believe that. Well, I know personally that most likely most of the people that are watching this are absolutely great people, true Christians that have no judgment towards other people. So if you went to a church and you had a bad experience, like one of my friends did, and you were judged upon your testimony, find a new church. Don't give up. Find a new church. You know what I mean? There's good churches out there, and with healthy things going on. And but other than that, it's a one-on-one thing with Jesus. I mean, I don't know what to tell you guys. Like, I'll tell you something right now. I'll give you guys a little rundown of how deep in it I was. Like, okay, so I was in 3 different gangs, right? I was in Crazy Dragons, which, if you see right here, I got a makeshift dragon done in prison years ago. It says white, and then it says dragon, right? So I was White Dragon back when I was a gang member, and this was like 17 to 19. And then when I was older, with the boys that I know in Federal and stuff, I got PBM right here, which means Pretty Boy Mafia, which was a gang I was in pretty much, even almost to this day, considering a brotherhood of some type. These are my boys that I still got love for, that are in prison, or but I don't talk to them or hang out with them and stuff, but I still got love for these guys. I do, and I pray for them every day. So that's just it. I'm not an active gang member, as we all know, but it's just one of those things where it's like, there are still people in that life that I absolutely still pray for, and absolutely hope that they can get their lives together. And that's another reason why I'm doing this, because if those guys see it, well, who knows what they might think. But okay, besides that, I got KTK right here, which means Crazy Tiger Crew, and that was the gang I was in when I got shot 3 times. And so I mean, 3 different gangs, man. Like, oh my god. I mean, I look back on my life and I'm just shocked. Like, and then the devil, see, that's what Satan, and so if it wasn't for you guys, like, at the church, and if it wasn't, and when you say to me how far along I've came with actual genuine, oh man, you know what? There was one of you that completely, in the beginning, I thought you rubbed me the wrong way, right? And you said some things to me just recently, and honestly, I can't say what your name is, but you know what? When an individual looks at me with genuine, respect, on a Christian Jesus level, and actually confirms the progress and the things that I'm doing, it really brings me to be stronger, right? Because I mean, I'm surrounded about like even my whole family, like none of them, they don't believe in God, so there's nothing to relate to there with, right? And so it's, you know, but it's a one-on-one thing, so it's not like I can never not talk to God. I mean, I'm always talking to Jesus, man. I mean, this guy's my bro, man, you know? And like, I've put him on the back burner for way too long, man. Like, you know what I mean? So, you know, so I mean, like, that's the thing. A lot of people, what really boils down to is that, yeah, you believe in God, but in your heart you feel that if you take that plunge, you're going to have to sacrifice a lot of things that you probably don't want to, because, I mean, let's be honest, these things work. Drugs work. They take away the pain for the time being. But, you know, obviously it creates way more chaos and damage than, you know, whatever. But for the, like, you know, the percentage of people that actually get a grip from it and get off of it without God are basically nil. Basically nil. Like, there might be one or two, 0 point some percent will actually straighten their lives out and, you know, without a higher power, and go on living a life and coming out of it completely clean. I mean, I mean, I'm sure there's a few. All right, there's a few, and you know, and they're the lucky ones. Well, if they find Jesus, they're the lucky ones. You know, just getting away from the drugs and that lifestyle, you're lucky. You know, that's a miracle within itself. But to find God in the process is something that it's the only way. It's the only way. I thought that, like, dude, I come from a family of like these people. My family are very, very professionals. Like, they are like, we're talking like the tip top of, you know, psychology and stuff like that. And so when I say they're set in their ways, I mean, like, they're set in their ways like there ain't even a conversation to be had here, period. So, you know, and for me to be like, I mean, from all the family that I have, and like, you would imagine that me getting my life together would just me be conforming to, you know, just maybe wanting to get back with my family, because my family are very well off, and, you know, and they like to go on big trips and stuff. And of course I want to reconnect with my family, which is exactly what I'm doing. But, you know, there's that unrelatable situation of me believing in God, which isn't something, like I said, I can't really, it's not even a conversation to be had. So that's fine, you know, and like, I can only pray for them to find God, and in their eyes, like, whatever's working for me, they want for me. Like, believe me when I tell you, like, they're happy that I've found something that they think, you know, that's, but, and I'm hoping that maybe eventually they're actually going to come around and be like, okay, you know, and like, I can only pray that maybe they'll come around to that, but I don't think they can really comprehend or honestly know, like, what's really going on with inside me. They might, you know, I don't know, but it, you know, whatever. But the point is that for the viewers of my little channel here, I mean, yeah, so God is real. The love of God is absolutely real, but it is a sacrifice. You have to be able to sacrifice. If you want to party, if you want to use drugs, if you want to just, you know, have sex with women that you're not married to and things like that, then there you go. Go ahead. Go down that path. And, you know, and I can't say anything to you about going down that path, especially if, you know, you're got your life together. Whatever choices you want to make, that's fine. I mean, I don't know everything. This is my own testimony, my own experience. I'm only telling you what is real with me, and you can either believe that or not, and that's absolutely fine. Everybody, you know, God gave you free will, you know, but He also gave you the you know, the mental capacity to know from love that there is a God, there is a higher power. There's something connected to this conscience. This isn't just a bag of bones and, you know, protons bouncing around. Like, this isn't just, like, I don't just love my children and then die, and then there isn't any, you know, nothing advances to a spiritual realm like that love. Like, it's funny how scientists prove that there's energies between people, right? Like there's energy that gets created through thought and collective gatherings of people, and there's like an energy there, right? So where does that energy go when you die? You just turn off, and that your whole life of trials and tribulations just came to a point where you die, and that's it. I mean, the love of God is a real force that can be harnessed with the Holy Spirit. It happened to me. It happened to me despite the life I was living and the beliefs of the people within around me. Like it happened no matter what, you know. So, and it's so yeah. I know I like ramble on here because I get caught up sometimes. Like I just get almost frustrated sometimes, because like I just know there's so many people out there that really don't believe, like, or like some of them do believe, but they just and it's fair enough. There's a lot of things. Satan's got so many blockers out there. It's crazy, right? But that's why you can take my testimony as like I'm unblocking that whole paradox, because Jesus changed my life inside out, from an absolute maniac to, so it's like, and all my family, like, I look up to my family. I've always looked up to my mother. She's written 7 psychology textbooks published all over North America. She's the author. Her text and her psychology words are in most of the universities. And my father was also a psychologist. And my brother is like a huge artist, and he was on the news and all these things. So like I've always looked up to my family, right? But that doesn't even come into the play with what I believe in Jesus Christ. It doesn't even come in play because of the love that he took away that life from me so that I could have a new life through a process of getting that life completely away from me, right? Like, oh man. So you know what? I'm going to pray for each and every last one of you. And I just hope this inspires somebody. Leave a comment in the box. This is Prolifically Born Again, and we'll see you next time. Take it easy.